Good morning! Back with more cross-stitching. Sorry for the slight delay, I was getting some muffin inside of me. Let me get my pattern pulled up here. Sometimes I forget that the Monday morning takes a little longer to set up because I have to do camera finagling and whatnot. Oops, I accidentally closed out the music. That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to minimize it. Hang on. That's what happens when I have to scooch my mouse super far over to make room on my desk. Let me load that playlist back up here. Sorry, you're gonna get some repeats because I'm just reloading up the same one here. Okay, let's try not accidentally closing it this time. A bold strategy I thought I know. Excuse me. All right. I don't know if there's weather changes coming through or what, but I'm sneezy this morning. Okay. So when we last visited our project, I should zoom in a touch. I thought I'd messed up over here. I hadn't. I'd only messed up a couple like of these stitches, the gray ones. I had to pull out quite a bit just to get enough of a tail to secure it properly. So I pulled some of those. The black was fine. But it turns out this was the wrong brown, so I pulled this out, so we'll redo that too. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but we're ending up with more progress than not, so I'll call that a victory. I also managed to bend the needle that I had been using while I was trying to pick through that, but fortunately I bought a multi-pack of that size, so. Let's see. Do a little bit of zoom on my webcam here. Maybe? There it is. Today's gonna be an especially just scawampus morning, it feels like. Okay. Okay, now that I've got most of all of that set up, let's get some actual stitching done, hey? Alright, let's redo this bit here that I did as the wrong color. It was supposed to be the more medium brown. So I need 782. 782. As always, let me know if music is too quiet, too loud, etc. We're listening to some Pipe Eye this morning. I've got 3 albums queued up for it. Very fun, kind of synthy, experimental, poppy stuff. It's good stuff. It's one of the members of both the Murlocs and King Giz that will probably never perform live. It's basically just the one guy, and he doesn't like performing his own stuff live. He'll sing some of his stuff for Giz once in a while, but not terribly often. I think he has basically no interest in doing Pipe Eye live. He does a bass for the Murlocs and whatever random needed at the moment for Giz. A lot of guitar and synth and stuff. And vocals and backup vocals, depending on the track. Alright, I'm gonna get this started here. And sorry about the congestion. I don't know what's going on with the, if it's air quality or what. Let me scoot this up here. Hey, we've just about caught up to where we were before I accidentally closed Media Player. There you go. Try to get that cord on my way here. And then immediately bump it again. Maybe that'll help. Let this detwist a sec here. There we go. All right, let's get these few stitches fixed too. All right, go ahead and anchor this now that we have it in the correct color this time. All right, got that fixed. Let's tackle this area that has been giving us so much headache with counting for whatever reason. See if we can get that finally correct once and for all here. 413. Like, part of me wants to not, because I might mess it up again and have to redo it, but on the other hand, I would like to have it finally taken care of. So So we'll give it another go. If we have to redo this part 17 times because we somehow just fail at counting it for every single time, then so be it. No idea why that little spot just has given me no end of trouble. The weirdest thing. Most of these stitches were correct, but like I said, I had to pull extra to have enough to anchor it properly on the back. I definitely didn't want to risk it unraveling later on. Alright, given the problems with this section, I'm going to take it safe and anchor here, and I'll restart another piece over here. Okay, let's anchor this. Think we finally got it. Okay. Let's start filling in down here and going this way. I need whatever the S is. 168. Excuse me. Hello. Welcome on in. Pardon the sneeziness this morning. I think there's either air quality stuff around here or pressure or temperature changes, but I've been extremely sneezy since I got up. We've just finished fixing the bits that we had noticed were incorrect at the end of the last one. And now working towards more actual progress. And these two gray shades look pretty close together. All right, I'm gonna anchor this, and then we'll fill in both of those colors yet for the rest of the collar there. I'm gonna go blow my nose quick. I'll be right back. Yeah. Not take out my setup in the same stroke here, hopefully. Okay, I'm back. Teamster had Red Dragon in, 5th box had a staff pick sticker on it, kind of like considering where this is, you better. The Ren Fair, nice. I mean, but did they have Ren Fair? I don't even know if that one's still in print. That was Atlas Games, the same company that does Gloom, printed on the clear cards that overlap, where it's about outfitting for the Ren Fair. It's a cute idea. I haven't played that one. A lot of people in the store didn't even make it to the dice. Fair. If it's the same one that was there the last time I've been, they have pretty standard fare. That was not meant to be a pun, but that works. F-A-R-E. Probably since I seem to buy the buildings. Oh, I wasn't sure if it was a rental thing or what's up for that space. That's interesting. Yeah, I have no idea how it works either. I've been once. It was fun. The shop you got your shoulder unicorn, I probably looked at the shoulder dragons and had to talk myself out of it because they were super cool. I'd also probably be quite insufferable in person with one. Current owner worked with people who made Muppets. Previous owner just loved fantasy creatures. Yeah, I could see the style being different as a result. And I could definitely see the current one um being having worked with Muppets based on their articulation. There we go. Just checking to make sure this is all correct because it's the very similar colors. All right, then here. And then here. To really push to make the head go up. I gotcha. I love that you have a unicorn, though. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and anchor this. Little brother got a dragon. Awesome. It should be no surprise to you that I am more of a dragon person myself. Current owner does resin casting, mix and match parts for a variety of previous still hand sculpts. Oh, that's cool. Both cool ways to do it. Hydrate and stretch. Let's have a hydrate and stretch. Man, I am a menace this morning. I apologize for the number of times I have bonked the microphone with things. Okay, we need 169. Nice. Nice. So we're 12. Alright, let's get in there with this color here. For a second, this looked darker than the other stitches, and I got paranoid, but I think it's... yeah, that's the same color. Okay, got all that part done here. Gonna anchor this, and then we're gonna get the one stitch of this color that's up in the corner here that I did as the wrong one and had to pull. See the Y getting nicely outlined for Yakuza. Also, I just noticed I missed a stitch there too. Alright, we'll grab that one too. Playing Yakuza right now. Nice. Yeah, this is the Yakuza square of place. I've not played any of them, but I've heard good things about the series. Alright, so we are plonking one stitch right here. Alright, got that one troublesome stitch taken care of there, and now I'm gonna go and get this one that I missed down here. While I'm noticing it and have the color out. Alright, sorry for doing bits of it off camera, but some of it I have to get real up close for. All right, now we've finally got that bit done. Let's see what we want to do next here. Uh, let's start this lettering here, and then we can fill in around it, because with it being letters, it should be pretty straightforward and difficult to get incorrect. I said, knowing full well I will probably manage it somehow. It's okay. We'll keep undoing and redoing until we have it correct. Woo, we start doing letters for a section that we actually have the whole word of, instead of whatever was going on up here. We've definitely got some sections on here where it's all the letters of a word or a full logo, because we got lots left to do here. But this is the first one we're doing the whole word of, and that's exciting. We have a Y. Let's work on getting ourselves an A. I may not do the whole word here because it is going across other stuff I haven't done yet, and just in case I miscount something, I don't want to have to pull all of it, so we'll see. Especially with white on white, because it's hard to see. No, no, not yay. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and anchor after this A here. All right, it's hard to see, but we've got a ya. I have a Y and an A. I'll at least get the K. I can verify it with the other stitches I've got going on here. Yeah. We'll get ourselves at least to a yak. Now I kind of want to see fan art of the main character as a yak. This can't be an independent idea. I guarantee someone's done that. Also, we'll see how far on the word I get before white on white makes my eyes go cross. Something I can only do for a bit at a time sometimes, especially on a small count fabric like this. Well, smaller, it's not that small, it's 18. Since I usually work on 16, it's small, comparatively. Alright, this is lining up exactly where it should be on the grid. Excellent. Definitely what we want to see. It's probably one of my favorite songs by this band, actually. I don't know why, it just super resonates with me. And we have a yak! Yaku! I'm gonna anchor this and grab another piece for the last two letters here. Get ourselves a za on the end of this Yaku. There we go. It's being stubborn, not wanting to thread into the needle. Looked like one of those stitches went weird, so I just wanted to double check it. Yakuz! Now we had an onto our Yakuz. Good, this stitch landed exactly where it needed to. Means I haven't messed up the lettering. What's nice is that the edge of the A is exactly the edge of the first page. So it gives me a nice delineation as to where the page end is as well. Just worked out nicely. Oh, we have moved on to Pipe Eye's latest album, Dream Themes. Oh, come on. There we go. There. Yakuza. There you can kind of see it at that angle. Got the full word. Woo, progress. I could use some color. Let's go ahead and extend this all the way over. So that is Red Bright 150. This color. After all the neutral colors punctuated by a little bit of blue, let's get some color going again here. Just a nice and simple red line going all the way across the page. But that was one that, when I finished the end of the thread doing the part I had done before, I wanted to wait until I had a clearer idea of where the edge of the page was. Again, to reduce mistakes. So I've been doing this a little bit weirdly. Little bits at a time. Giving me other stitches and colors to cross-check against and catch mistakes. Which has been working, because I have been catching and fixing them as I go. I mean, ideally I wouldn't want to make them to begin with, but this is a fairly complex piece, so... There we go. Get my fabric tension fixed there. It's nice about working with the Q-snap clips. Alright, and I'm pretty sure that line is the first column on the next page that borders it upwards. I'm gonna check that, because if that's correct, that might be nice to get done as well. Yes, that is the case. Just to give us a good outline to work within for the rest of this page up corner here. Alright, so I'm going to anchor here. I'm going to grab another piece of floss, and we're going to do this line all the way straight up. Alright, next piece threaded up here. Nice to get some color on here again. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and run my first line of my stitches all the way up and then all the way back down, crossing it. So I stop when I hit the top of my section. That'll make it a little bit easier to fill in the rest of this Yakuza area, knowing where the boundary is for sure. Having that stitched in. Welcome back. We're, yeah, as the exclam tells you there, we are cross-stitching part of a Reddit project. That was the second time they did that. It was an April 1st thing called Reddit Place, where basically every Reddit user, every, I want to say 2 minutes, could click on a giant, or a tiny square on a giant canvas and pick one of a number of colors to put there. And so a bunch of Reddit communities work together to make pieces of art and try to protect them and ally with neighbors and all of that. And they made this really cool, like, collaborative art piece across the duration of the event. It's a huge canvas. But basically, the cross-stitch subreddit looked at it and went, well, it's basically already a cross-stitch pattern, so someone decided to take up the helm and put together, start up a Discord and subreddit for gathering volunteers to stitch the entire thing. So they got it converted into a pattern, picked the thread colors, and put together a form and whatnot to take applications and assign sections. So I can show you a black and white because that's all that I have. I have black and white printer, but this is a black and white version of the entire my section. Sorry, my camera's kind of zoomed in. So we're working on this top corner here, this Yakuza corner. So it's going to be a project that's going to take a little bit. There's over 300 people stitching this. And then there's ways to, or coordinators for each kind of region that are going to, everyone who has a section is going to mail it to their kind of regional coordinator, and then they're going to keep getting kind of passed along, and then they're going to get joined together into one gigantic piece. I think the current plan right now is they're trying to find an art museum, especially like a pop art museum or a modern culture museum to have it displayed at, so it can get under preservation and everything. But oh, I don't remember the dimensions on how big it'll be off the top of my head, but it's gonna be massive. For reference, they gridded it out with numbers and letters, and this section is S14. And I'm not at the very far edge or the very bottom. So it's gonna be real big. There's also stitchers doing just specific like little patches or bits of specific communities that were especially popular, that I think the current plan on those is to auction them off for charity. It's a cool project that I wanted to get involved with. And I figured it would be fun, since it was an internet art project to come together initially, that it would be fun to do all of my stitching for it on Twitch, where anyone can watch and hang out and ask questions. I've been putting these VODs up on my YouTube as well. After it's done, I'm going to either figure out myself or grab a volunteer who's better with video software than I am to do a time-lapse of it. I should probably post out to some of the subreddits that I'm stitching stuff from about this as well. I just haven't had the energy or time to do that yet. But this is you can see my whole gridded out area of my section there. I have it just marked with a waterproof marker, or water soluble, the opposite. Because pieces get washed and ironed at the end anyway, so the marker will come out. And the DMC floss we're using is color fast, so we don't have to worry about it running. I think this is stream number 5 of working on my bit here. What kind of sucks is that it's an archival project, so if I make mistakes, I have to tear thread and fix it, because it's archiving the final state of the canvas. Whereas normally, if I made a mistake while I'm stitching, if it looks okay, I'll just ignore it and keep going and work around it. But this one, I've actually been having to pull bits. You can see my super jank setup here on my desk a bit. Get my stand up on a shoebox so it's close enough to the camera, and also so that I can see what I'm doing too. But I keep going off camera a bit to anchor my thread so I can make sure I can see it. Oops, sorry. And I have all this crammed into a little spot on my desk, so I keep bumping things. My apologies. Alright, we've got the outline on our Yakuza here. And we actually have a little bit more with this color on the inside of the Yakuza square, so let's go ahead while I've got this color out and work on that. Part of the inside of the coat here is going to be this red color. I think there were 32 total colors that were used in place, and I've got 31 of them in my section. I've got some bigger spots coming up. I have part of the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon rainbow, which seemed like it would be fun to stitch. But it's easier to kind of keep track by working from a corner outward, so that'll start about here. I'll get the edge of the prism and then the rainbow going across. And pardon my congestion this morning. It's either weather or temperature pressure changes. Okay, so the red bit inside the coat is going to start here. And I've been doing loop start, which if you're not familiar with cross-stitching, there we go. We're doing 2 threads for the stitching. And so what I do is I take one piece of thread out of my floss and fold it over, thread the 2 ends through my needle, start my first stitch, put the needle through the loop, and pull it tight, and that anchors it nice and tight without having ends to worry about. It's very convenient, and something I wish I'd known about years before I found out about it. Alright, so we skip 1, go to here. The stand's been working out nicely. This is a pattern I found online that's a modification of a Q-snap style frame with a stand that's just PVC and PVC corners without having to actually glue or secure anything, so you can swap out the lengths of PVC to make it different sizes. And it just tension fit stays together, which is nice. And I just grabbed the clamps off of my actual Q-snap frames. And that's worked pretty nicely for this, because I wanted to have something that I could, have it at an angle that I could grab with the camera, and also be at an angle that I could still work on it at the same time. Is that the end of the album? Hang on, I might have to put some more music on here. Oh, nope. Album's still going. I'm currently listening to Dream Themes by Pipe Eye. If you're listening live, if you're listening to the VOD, you are not hearing any music, because I have it going to a channel to not save. Come on. There we go. Also, minor apologies to anyone who is seeing this that's been watching my Cult of the Lamb playthrough. This is a little bit of a whiplash of a tone difference. I've been currently doing cross-stitching on Monday mornings once a week, and then video games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which the Tuesday and Thursday evening stream has currently been playing Cult of the Lamb, because it's a lot of fun, and it has fun integration. But, yeah. I hop all over the place for, games and whatnot. Play a lot of indie and sometimes some retro stuff. Kind of based on what I feel like playing and showing off. Sometimes it's something I've never played, sometimes it's something that doesn't have a lot of footage or info out there that I like to at least get a little bit out there. But yeah, it's been fun times. Sometimes with friends. Yeah, we gotta do that again. Some more Don't Starve Together. Might not be more until fall when my schedule clears up a little bit more. Summers get kind of busy for me because some of my best friends are teachers. So we tend to plan a lot of hanging out when they're more free for obvious reasons. But there will be more Don't Starve Together with KDM because that's fun times. We've died in many creative ways. It's great. Just pausing to check my pattern, making sure my stitches are still where they're supposed to be. By the time we play again, we're gonna have no idea what was going on with our camp and exploration and where any of the wormholes go, and that's okay. Never claimed to be good at any of these games, just that I like to play them. Character refresh for Wickerbottom since we last played. Ooh, fun. Not that either of us has played her on stream. Good point, good point. All right. Got the red in his coat here. Just double checking my stitches. Library cat. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and anchor this. And there's another section up here that's going to be that color, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to fill in down here and then just kind of start on the edge and work my way up. Gives me a little bit more to cross-reference against as I stitch, so I am less likely to make a mistake, and if I do, I can catch it more quickly. No library cat name yet. Oh no! And we could always come up with our own terrible pun name. Like Meowk Twain. That one's pretty bad. Sir Captain Doyle. Alright, so we have... what goes here next to the Y? This is a few stitches of black, so let's get those in there quick. Put all the black on a bobbin since last we've met here. I still have to buy some more, but I used the last of the ones that I had sitting around for the good plastic ones. Might have some cheaper cardboard ones kicking around too. Or I can always make some of those. I do not need this much black. That should be enough. Okay, I think that was legit the end of the album this time, so in just a moment I will queue up something else here. See what I got in the old music library. I'll throw on some self. Let me get this anchored. Alright, give me just a moment here. Get another album going. I've got to find a better way to have my keyboard so I can actually reach it. Currently shoved way up on my desk, so I have room for the shoebox and whatnot. There we go. This is the band Self, the album Subliminal Plastic Motives. I think I have this whole album completely memorized from listening to it so much in high school. I think they might have had a track on one of the Shrek soundtracks, which is where a lot of people may know them from. I think this was just one of those albums that Dad picked up randomly on CD and tossed my way because he thought I would like it. Which, he was correct. What fun. It's a sudden rush and it's unplanned. It's a ball, it's a chain, it's a crying shame, and it's a gas. It's the only urge anyone has. And I've got just enough to share. I've got enough to pass it around. Alright. Got the edge of the coat down there. Go ahead and anchor this a little bit here. Yeah, making progress. that's it for the black at the moment. There might be a little bit here and there yet, but for that section, I'll grab that as I find it. Let's keep filling in around the letters here. We need 3827. Got a box of, it's a Pokemon Elite Trainer box, but of all the colors I need for this specific project. I should organize them into something a little easier to dig through, but whatever. It's working. Until it doesn't. 3827. I'm doing better at actually reading the number of the thread off of the key instead of the number of stitches of the thread off the key, and then wondering why I can't find the color I'm looking for. Womp womp. Alright, do my loop start, anchor my thread. Glad that I got the height and the focus on this camera well enough that it seems to be at least decently focused and sharp, because I was concerned about this camera not being sharp enough to do close-up stitch work like this. But it seems to be up to the task well enough for now. For being a lower mid-level webcam. Alright. We'll have some more of this color over here, but I'm going to go ahead and anchor here, and we're going to keep working on this little corner. Now we'll actually get to see the letters because we're putting in the color around it instead of just white on white. Which is real hard to see. And also stitch. But it made sense to do at the time, so we did. Alright, let's see what we got next. Whatever color this symbol is. This symbol is 814 dot. Which I think might be underneath. Nope. Oh, is this the one that said it was dark garnet last time and I had an impossible time finding it, I think? Uh, nope, we haven't had this color yet. Yes, we have. Okay. There it is. 814 dot. DMC had to change up some of their dye formulas for colors based on EU regulations around certain ingredients and dyes. And so they've been denoting those with either a dot before or after the number. And when they put together the color list for the pattern, they had to make sure to call out the ones that were the dot ones to make sure that people knew to specifically get that one so it matched, because it was... You'll get a little bit of natural variation with dye lots and colors, but when they have to drastically change something like that, they have to denote it, because it's going to be a noticeable enough change. Small handful of affected colors. I think pretty much we're just filling in everything that's left here, but I'm gonna kind of do it a little bit at a time and do it against the pattern just to make sure, because again, that'll help me catch mistakes if I miss something as well. Also because I have anxiety and I will worry about it if I don't. Anxiety is awful. Yep. I've definitely got anxiety and depression comorbid funsies. And as I've recently discovered, ADHD to a degree, which may have be feeding into the anxiety and the depression, but I've got a fantastic therapist who's helping me work through some of that and figure out what's up and how best to deal with some of it. Part of it's been unlearning coping mechanisms that aren't great from being not having someone to talk to or deal with it properly for a very long time, so that's always fun. This is the most cheerful song with the most depressing lyrics. Just and I flew through my head on something that my start. Beach, yeah, he was southbound, so he threw her in the lost and found. Now she's scaring me. It's one of those bands that I didn't realize until recently just how prolific they were, and I have a lot of stuff to dig through by them. Because I just had this one album. Sorry, I felt like I might have had a tangle in the back there, so I'm just double checking it. It's also, while I was driving about a week ago, I was letting Pandora just kind of meander around, which I like to do once in a while. I find some new bands that way. And it tossed me a song by the Viagra Boys that I need to look more into their stuff because it is the most Devo modern song I have heard since Devo. Like, musically, lyrically, I don't know if the whole album's like that or their other albums, but uh it caught my attention and I'm gonna have to dig into that. I looked into them a little bit. They're a Swedish band. Oh, I missed a stitch. That's why it looks funky down there. Hang on, I'm gonna go catch that right now. Like, that K doesn't look right. Because I missed a stitch here of the red. Aha! There we go. It was close enough to just pop over and fix that while I'm at it here. Missing stitches is so much easier to fix than extra stitches. Extra stitches, I have to tear things out. If I miss stitches, I can always just plonk a single stitch in as need be. The song is extremely catchy and will be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Meh. There we go. Not sure if we're gonna finish this whole square section today or not, but we're definitely making some chunks in it for sure. Pause to adjust here for a sec and also double check my current placement. Make sure we're still in the right place on everything. Probably anchor after this column and grab another piece. We're getting close to the end of it here. Let's get this little Z inset here before I miss it and wonder why it looks weird like the K earlier. Yeah. Oop, come here, you. There we go. All right, go ahead and anchor this bit. All right, got some more of this color to fill in here. All right, I gotta watch where it stops being this color, because it's this little bitty corner is going to be slightly different here. So make sure I stop just stitching this dark red where I need to. Oh, come on. All right, just double check that this is where the stitch goes. Excellent. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, anchor this. There's a little chunk of this color up here that I'm going to go ahead and grab because it's close enough to the top it'll be easy to count out. Well, I've got a little bit of thread that's the perfect length. All right, so we've got 3, and then this starts on the 4th one down, just right on the edge here. Just recounting it about 7 times because I'm paranoid. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and anchor here. I love the lyrics to this song. I like it musically too, but I always like the lyrics in this one. Love the pun in that one. She hated my lyrics, so I lied and said I threw them out. The only one who knows this is me, but now the record's out. Puns. Okay, so we need 3716. $37.16. Let's let you know. I can only hope that the house of whatever he, 'cause you know we're all doomed. I don't care at all. Simple that it's not the nature's fault. All right. One of my other favorite lyrics from the song is I can't help but paint a perfect picture with the double A rhyme scheme. Heard a cat activating behind me and got suspicious. All right, just making sure all of this is this color. I believe that is the case. I counted out a bit just to be sure. Well, at the very least, we're definitely going to finish out this little corner here, which is awesome. Keep hearing cat noises, and I'm waiting for cat fighting noises. That usually follows it. Aha! Do 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 do. Let's get this anchored. Alright, is that the end of that album too? Let's see. It was. Let me find something short. See if I've got an EP around here. I mean, I probably do. Oh, we may have listened to this last time, but I'm gonna throw on some not because it's still real good and it should be just about the right amount of time. Hello, hello! I recognize that as being French, especially since I know you are in France. That is the end of my understanding with that. Oh. Yeah, I've heard that's a thing if you speak multiple languages, the not realizing which one you're in. I have a friend that speaks Japanese, and that was her minor, and she taught in Japan, but if someone speaks to her in Spanish specifically for some reason, she just automatically responds back in Japanese. It's the weirdest thing, and also very funny. All right, let's start in this top corner and kind of work our way down here. So we're gonna get that dark brown that was here that I accidentally filled all this in with. 433. It's a dot 433. That's another one of the formula change ones. I don't know if that'll come across, but Thinking English, which is cool. Starting in issues with French vocabulary at times. How do you say that in French already? You know? Yeah. I know a very little bit of German, just enough that every now and then something will make me think of something in German, which is basic vocab and a few questions. But yeah. Working for a few minutes, needed a nap. Thought your stream would be neat for a little with low volume and some art. Yes. Oh, I'm glad it was a nice nap. I definitely don't mind my stream being a something to sleep to. Means I am having a nice chill place to hang. You can always feel free to raid the VODs for that too. They're in playlists. I had someone tell me they fell asleep while I was playing Darkest Dungeon because it was that calm and chill, and I took that as a huge compliment that if I can be that calm and chill playing that game, then yeah. It really changed since the last time you were awake. Oh goodness, that's cool to see that it's been that much progress in just a little bit of time. Yeah, we've been filling in the Yakuza square here. We got the square outlined here and got the Yakuza text down here and all the stitching around it. So all this is totally stitched in full here. And with luck, it's all correct. Oh, I get words stuck in other realms all the time. It's just like, I know there's a word for this. I can't think of it. And then I just start flailing at descriptors and hope the other person knows what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm gonna count this one quick just to make sure. This should be 4 stitches, and then we're gonna go back to the black here. Hooray! Ending where I expect it to. That's excellent. Means it's probably correct. We are math geniuses! I would not go that far, considering the number of miscounting I've done, particularly in this little section here. Had to redo some of that more than once. Yeah, it's fine because it's correct now. Got it eventually, and that's what matters? Yes. That is correct. As long as it's all correct when it eventually goes in the mail, that's the important part. And I have done my part. think I didn't realize how much there was of this color because I didn't cut a very long piece, but that's okay. I'll anchor it and grab another bit. I'll keep filling it in. France, it's common for natives to not speak a fluent French. Huh. I was not aware of that. I know English has gotten a lot more common worldwide, but interesting. Feels almost easy, you know for a fact it's not. You tried. I like cross stitching. It's like coloring. You're just following the pattern and filling bits in. There we go. Also, it's interesting how, from what I've heard, how different Quebecois and like oh, I don't remember what the what it's called when it's the actual France French. So I know with Spanish there's a word for a difference between the Mexican Spanish and Spain Spanish, which from what I've heard might be closer than Quebecois and France French, but not sure. Mm-hmm. Quebecois is so cute. As a Midwest American, the French Canadian accent is adorable. Because it's a weird combination of like Midwestern, because that's what a lot of Canada has kind of as the accent sounds similar to Midwestern English, but also the French. I'm not just basing that on Mary. There was a company that would contact the my place of work from dang it, from I'm not sure which city, but in Montreal, Canada, the province or Quebec. Um and I could always tell when they were calling immediately by the accent. He always seemed so surprised when I immediately knew who was calling. Like, you, sir, have a very distinct French Canadian accent. There we go. Tend to have a strong accent to speak English, and again, you do if you speak French. Oh, I'm sure. I don't know if you were around last time I mentioned this, but I've mentioned before that it's very, very interesting when, especially European or Nordic country, if they're taught English in a neutral tone, and actually anyone like newsreaders, it comes across a lot. The like my accent, the kind of standard Midwestern, is seen as a very, very neutral, easy to understand American accent. So a lot of times they're taught to speak with a um Midwestern inflection, but as a result, because I'm born and raised Midwestern, usually on a couple words here and there, I can tell immediately that they're not native speaking because of just a little bit of inflection difference. It's very, very cool to be able to notice that just because of how that is. Because I've seen like interviews with like Tobias Forge, for instance, that people are like, he's like, I can't believe he's not a native English speaker. It's such so good, and I'm just like, oh, there's a couple words where I hear it's slightly different than you would normally hear in Midwestern American. That's like, oh yeah, you're not a native speaker. It's really, really cool. The omelette de la fromage est très très bon. The omelet with cheese is very, very good. Part of that phrase was a big part of an episode of Dexter's Lab, and I can't separate it from that. I don't know if you're talking to me or Paul there. And I apologize for my French pronunciation. I did not take any French whatsoever. I did take some German, and I'm sure that pronunciation is also not great. Though you'd think it wouldn't be too far off, because there's a very Germanic influence in this area. It was good. Well, I mean, I'm in a state known for cheese, so I recognize the word cheese in a lot of a lot of languages. I imagine that one I got okay. The fromage. We take our cheese very seriously around here. All right, I'm gonna anchor this. We're gonna grab another piece, and I'm gonna see if I can finish off at least this color in this section. We're not gonna finish this whole section today, but we'll get close. And for anyone curious at this point, uh, here's what the back's looking like. Not the messiest, not the tidiest. It looks fine. Fellow cheese connoisseur, appreciate that. What kind of cheese do you enjoy? No pressure, but I'll unfollow depending on your answer. Honestly, I will eat any cheese. I haven't met a cheese I wouldn't at least eat a bit of. Except for Kasu Marzu. No thank you on that one. It's illegal in this country, so I don't think that's gonna be a problem anytime soon. Other than that one, I'm game for pretty much any cheese. Let me think here. I like Butterkäse quite a lot. Especially a good German Butterkäse. Havarti can be nice. Especially with some herbs. Provolone's a good solid sandwich cheese. Some cheese that tasted like cheesy potatoes. It was very good. Oh, that's cool. I wonder if it had like a rosemary or some of the traditional potato herb sort of stuff. If I ever actually had a chance to try Kazu Marsu, I would think about it, because when else are you going to get that chance? But I'm not thrilled about the prospect. If you don't know what Kasu Marzu cheese is, you don't want to Google it. It's cheese that a specific type of larva is planted into that then hatches and eats and processes some of the cheese and is still alive when you consume it. And I'm not real big on that idea. At least with the coffee that the civet cat is fed and passes, at least it's not still alive and part of the food you're eating at that time. Yeah, it's a thing. I don't remember what the civet poop coffee is called, though. I'd be more likely to try that than Kasu Marzu. It is not vegetarian-friendly cheese, you are correct. Kind of like how figs aren't. Um, Figs are definitely not vegan-friendly. I don't know if they're considered vegetarian-friendly. Because apparently for figs to pollinate or flower or something along the lines, there's a type of wasp that crawls up in it and dies. That's a part of the reproductive process of the fig. It's weird. Nature's weird. Mariole is better than Kasumarzu. No gross things involved, though it's a strong one. I'm not sure I've had that one. Oh, I know cheese isn't vegan. It's usually vegetarian. With one notable exception we just discussed. I'm personally lactose intolerant, but I just take Lactaid with it. Cheese doesn't bother me so much. Just regular milk, even with Lactaid, is iffy. And ice cream is also iffy. I just keep some in my purse for all occasions. One never knows when cheese will appear. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't stop me from taking a Lactaid and just eating part of a block of cheese. Like, maybe it should, but it definitely does not. Yeah, it's not so severe that I can't manage with Lactaid. Or generic equivalent thereof. It's not so bad that I need to take it with like butter and stuff. I have a friend that is that lactose intolerant and I feel really bad for them. Yeah, they live in this state currently as well. They're in a area that has much better options for like lactose free stuff, but still having to be careful about large amounts of butter is gotta be a pain. Oh, I've got like at least 8 different types of cheese in my fridge at this moment in time, and that's not unusual. A raclette? Unsure. There. Got a bit of brown here. You didn't, then you'd know it. Alright, fair. I was just wondering if it was something that might be known by a different name. Woo, look at all that progress. Neufchatel I've definitely had. Especially if there was any sort of like different European country variant on it, because a lot of things around here um would be known more by a German or Polish name, because that's a lot of who settled the state. This area more Germanic, but there's quite a bit of Polish ancestry as well. And so that manifests in a lot of interesting ways. It's the village of your grandma. Oh, that's awesome. Super neat. All right, this is probably a good place to stop and wrap up where we're at, despite this amazing cheese discussion. I hope we will pick that back up. I'm gonna have some smoked salmon and cheese and crackers for lunch because smoked salmon and cheese and crackers are amazing. There's a local place that does the best smoked fish. It's fantastic. It's the best I've ever had anywhere. It's brown sugar smoked salmon. It's super tasty. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with me today while we worked on our cross stitch some more and listened to some music. I hope you enjoyed. It's been lovely catching up with all y'all. I will be back tomorrow evening. We will be playing more Cult of the Lamb. Yeah, I'm heading off. Have a nice evening. It's afternoon here. I had to grab some lunch and then get ready for work. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for Cult of the Lamb. If you haven't checked it out, I recommend. It's fun times. Paul, I think you'd enjoy that one if you haven't seen that one yet. We've been using the Twitch integration insofar as it's been functioning and having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, Tuesday night Cult of the Lamb, Thursday night Cult of the Lamb, Monday morning, more of this. Thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.